All right. Moving on to Chapter 5, Section 3. This is our last method to solve systems of linear equations. Once again, what will our solution be when solving a system of equations? An ordered pair. When we solved by graphing, we looked at where the lines intersected. That ordered pair was my solution. When we solved by substitution, we took an expression and substituted it in for a variable, solved for that variable, plugged in to get our other variable. So, we're going to have to get an x value and a y value once again today when we're solving by elimination. So, you hear the word elimination. We're trying to eliminate a variable. So, let's go ahead and write these steps down that I have on the board. I know it's a lot of writing, but I'll give you time to write it down. These are our steps to solve a system of linear equations by elimination. Step 1, we want to line up our x values, y values, and our constants. So we're going to write our equations right on top of each other. I want the x values in a column, the y values in a column, and our constants in a column. So line them all up. Excuse me. Step 2, multiply, if necessary, one or both equations by a constant, so at least either the coefficients with the x terms or the coefficients with the y terms are the same number with opposite signs. Does everyone know what a coefficient is? It's a number being multiplied by a variable. So if I have 2x, what's my coefficient? 2. It's a number being multiplied by the variable. So when I say same number with opposite signs, can someone explain to me what that would look like? Yeah, -2, +2 would be an example. It's the same number. One's a positive, one's a negative. -4, +4. 5, -5. 10, -10. -1, +1. Same number with the opposite signs. We want that to happen in our two equations, and either in front of the x values or in front of the y values. Does not matter which one. Step 3, once we get the same number opposite signs, we want to add the equations to eliminate the variable that has the same number with the opposite sign. What's -2 plus +2? -2 plus 2. What would that give me? 0. 3 plus -3. What? 0. Anytime I add a number and its negative counterpart, I'm going to get 0. Right? So that's why I want same number, opposite signs. That way when I add my equations, that variable that has same number, opposite signs will be eliminated. So I'll add down my x columns, add down my y columns, add down my constant columns. Step 4, solve the resulting equation for whatever variable you have left over. Step 5, just like we did with substitution, we're going to substitute the value we get in step 4 into one of our original equations and solve for the other variables. So that way we have an x value and a y value. Are there any questions about these steps? Okay, I'll give you a little bit more time to write these down. Sometimes some of these steps will already be done for us. Like step 1, they may already be lined up for us the way we want them. X is in a column, Y is in a column, constants in a column. Sometimes our variables will already have same number, opposite signs in front of them. That way we wouldn't have to multiply by anything to get same number, opposite signs. So you just got to pay attention to what you're given and how you're given it. Am I good to move on yet, or are we still? Okay, still a little more time. I'm going to go ahead and move on. If you don't get all this written down, I will post this set of notes to Canvas. So let's go ahead and move on to some examples here. Example 1, Our system is negative 5x plus 2y equals negative 20. Second equation, 5x plus 2y equals 40. Solve the system of linear equations by elimination. Okay, so let's take this step by step with all the steps that we just wrote down. What does step 1 tell me to do? Say it again. Yeah. So are my x values lined up in a column here? Yep. Are my y values? Yep. Are my constants? Yep. It's already lined up for me the way I need it to. So step 1's already done for me. Everyone good with that? Step 2, what did that say? What did step 2 say, y'all? What did step 2 say? Anyone gonna read it off to me, or? Yeah, go for it. So, our goal with elimination is to get either my x values to have same number opposite sign in front of it, or my y values. So do either my x's or my y's have same number opposite sign in front of them?
Yeah.
Which values? The x values, right?
Yeah.
There's a negative 5 and a positive 5. Does everyone agree that that's the same number with opposite signs? One's a positive, one's a negative. Okay, so that's already done for me. I don't have to multiply either of my equations by any number because I already have same number opposite signs. So step 1, step 2, done for me right off the bat. Step 3, after we get same number opposite signs, let's add our equations to eliminate that variable. What I mean by add is we're just adding straight down the columns. Like we discussed earlier, negative 5x plus 5x would give me what? 0x. In this case, our x values get eliminated. Does everyone understand that? Negative 5x plus 5x is 0. They just cancel each other out. Now let's add the y's. What's 2y plus 2y? 4y equals, what's negative 20 plus 40? 20. Do not forget to add your constants column. I see that mistake happen a lot. You've got to add every single column. Okay? Now, I'm just left with an equation with the variable y in it. 4y equals 20. After I eliminate that variable, step 4, I'm solving the resulting equation. So how would I solve 4y equals 20 for y? Divide both sides by 4. 20 divided by 4? 5. There's my y value for my ordered pair. Our answer is going to be what again? An ordered pair. So there's my y value. Now I'm on step 5. I need to substitute the value from step 4 that I just got. Y equals 4. And I need to substitute it into one of my original equations to solve for my remaining variable, which is x in this case. Do you think it matters which equation I plug into? No. Do you guys want top or bottom? Bottom. So I'm going to take y, plug it into this equation. 5x plus 2 times 5 equals 40. Now, I've got this equation that has x in it. I can solve it for x. That'll give me my x value. 2 times 5? 10. Next step to get x by itself. Subtract 10. 40 minus 10. 30. And last step, to get x by itself? Divide both sides by 5. 30 divided by 5. 30 divided by 5? 6. So there's my x value now. Is this how I want you to leave your answer?
No.
How do I want you to write it?
In an order.
I want you to write it as an ordered pair. So what's my final answer here? 6, 5. Make sure you get that x value in the correct spot, the first slot. Make sure you get that y value in the correct spot, the second slot. What can I always do if I'm unsure of my answer? Plug it in to both of my equations. If the ordered pair makes both of my equations true when I plug in, I know I have the correct answer. Any questions on example 1? How do we feel about elimination after one example? Good. Can I move on to example 2? Okay. 6x plus 4y equals negative 46. 2x plus 4y equals negative 26. Okay, first step. Is everything lined up the way it should be? Yep, x is in a column, y is in a column, constants in a column. We're good with step 1. Step 2, right off the bat, in front of my x's, do I have same number opposite sign? No. In front of my y's, do I have same number opposite sign? No. So in this case, I'm going to have to multiply either one or both of my equations to get same number opposite sign in front of one of my variables. Any ideas what might be best here? Do what? Well, let me ask you this. In either of my columns, do I have same number? Yeah, my y column, they're both positive 4s, right? So what I can do is I can multiply one of my equations by what to make that a negative 4? 4 times what will give me negative 4? Negative 1. If I already have same number in front of a variable, I just want to take one of my equations and multiply by negative 1. Does it matter which one? Nope. Do you want to do top or bottom? Bottom. We're going to multiply this whole bottom equation by negative 1. Every single term. X term, y term, and my constant. Okay? So negative 1 times 2x would give me what? Negative 2x. Negative 1 times 4y would give me what? Negative 4y. Negative 1 times negative 26 would give me positive 26. Every term has to get multiplied by that number that we multiply by. Questions how I did that? Now, do I have same number, opposite sign? Yep. My very first equation and this new equation that I created by multiplying equation 2 by negative 1. Now that I have same number, opposite signs, I can now add those two. I'm no longer looking at this second equation because I just remade it by multiplying by negative 1. So, what's 6x plus negative 2x? 4x. 4y plus negative 4y gets eliminated, right? Negative 46 plus 26. Negative 46 plus 26. They have opposite signs, so I subtract them. What's 46 minus 20? Or 46 minus 26, I mean. I swear we just need to take one day to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division with positives and negatives. What's 46 minus 26? 20. Keep the sign of the bigger one, so it's going to be negative 20. How would I get x by itself with my resulting equation here? Divide by 4. Negative 20 divided by 4? Negative 5. So here is my x value. Now I need to take this, plug it into one of my originals. I have 3 equations to pick from. One of my 2 originals, and the equation I got after I multiplied by negative 1. So do you guys want to plug into first, second, or third? First. So I'll do 6 times negative 5 plus 4y equals negative 46. Is there any confusion so far up to this point that I need to stop and clarify even more? What's 6 times negative 5? Negative 30. Next step, trying to get y by itself. Add 30 to both sides to cancel it out. Negative 46 plus 30. Yep, negative 6. Wait, say it again.
Negative 16.
Yes, negative 16. And how do I get y by itself? Divide by 4. Y equals negative 4. So what's my final answer here? Negative 5. Negative 4. Still feeling all right about elimination? It's really nice if you're already given same number, opposite sign, or if you're just given same number, because you either don't have to multiply or just have to multiply by negative 1. That's not always going to be the case, though. Can I move to example 3? All right. X minus 6y equals 44. 9x plus 12y equals 0. X minus 6y equals 44. 9x plus 12y equals 0. Okay, right off the bat, are we all lined up the way we should be? Yep. In front of either my x's or my y's, do we have same number, opposite signs? No. Do I have same number in front of either of my variables? No. So I can't just multiply by negative 1, can I? So let's think about it here. Let's say I wanted to eliminate my x values. I'd have to multiply the top equation by what to get same number, opposite sign here? Close. Negative 9, right? If I multiply the top by negative 9, that would give me a negative 9x right here. I'd be able to cancel out my x values. Negative 9 is a pretty big number, right? So let's check out my y values here. What could I multiply one or both of my equations by to eliminate my y's? Well, is there any way I could get this term to negative 12y? Yeah, but multiplying by what? 2. If I multiply my top equation by 2, that gives me same number, opposite sign in front of my y's. So would you rather multiply the top by negative 9 or positive 2? You'd rather do negative 9? Let's do negative 9 then. Okay, let's multiply the top by negative 9. If it was me, I'd multiply by 2. But we'll do negative 9. You can do either way. Does not matter which variable you eliminate, but there definitely is some times where one would be easier than the other. Negative 9 times x. Negative 9x. Negative 9 times negative 6y. Do you know our times tables for the 9s or the 6s? Bless you. Yep, 54y. Here's the tough one. 44 times negative 9. Negative 396. We okay with that? Do we understand why I multiply the top equation by negative 9?
Yeah.
Any confusion on why I did that? Yes?
How do you get the number, like, to multiply by?
Well, it depends on what numbers you're given in front of that variable. So in this case, we said we wanted to eliminate the x values. Okay? So I'm looking to see if I can take this number and multiply it by something to get to this number, or vice versa. So this is a 1 in front of this x, right? I can multiply it by negative 9 to get same number opposite signs. Your ultimate goal is to get same number opposite sign in front of that variable. So you've got to be able to figure out which number to multiply by to get to same number opposite signs. We have same number opposite signs, so let's add our equations. What happens to my x values? They're eliminated. 12y plus 54y. 66y. And 0 plus negative 396. Negative 396. From here, how would I get y by itself?
Divide by 66.
Divide by 66 on both sides. Now, negative 396 divided by 66.
6.
6? Negative 6?
Yeah.
So y equals negative 6. Any questions how we got that? Now we need to find x. Do y'all want to plug negative 6 in for first, second, or third equation? First? Is that what I heard? Okay. So x minus 6 times negative 6 equals 44. Negative 6 times negative 6. Positive 36. And how would I get x by itself? Subtract 36. 44 minus 36. Eight. So what's my final answer?
Exit.
8, comma, negative 6. Any confusion here that I need to clear up? Okay, I've got 2 more examples for you. Here's the next one. Negative 5x plus 8y equals negative 6. 4x plus 9y equals negative 26. Negative 5x plus 8y equals negative 6. 4x plus 9y equals negative 26. Right off the bat, are they lined up? Yep, x's and y's are in the same column. Constants are in the same column. Do I have same number opposite sign in front of either variable? Nope. Do we have same number in front of either variable? No. So I'm going to have to multiply at least one of my equations, maybe both of them, by a number to get same number opposite signs. Okay, let's talk through this real slowly. Is there any way I could get this negative 5 to be a positive 4x by multiplying by a whole number integer? No. Is there any way I can get this positive 4 to a negative 5? No. So, if I wanted to eliminate my x's, Does everyone understand that I'd have to multiply both equations here? Does everyone understand that? Because I can't multiply just this one to get to this one or just this one to get to this one. Let's look at our y values. Can I multiply 8 by anything to get to negative 9? No. Can I multiply 9 by anything to get to negative 8? No. So if I wanted to eliminate y's, once again I'd have to multiply both equations by a number. So either way, we're going to have to multiply both equations here. Let's think about which variable might be easiest. What's a number that both negative 5 and 4 go into? 20. That's the smallest number they go into, isn't it? If I wanted to get this, the top equation, to negative 20, what would I have to multiply negative 5 by? 4. I'd have to multiply 4 by positive 5. Because we want those opposite signs, right? They already have opposite signs. So I'd have to multiply by 4 and 5. Top number by 4, or top equation by 4, bottom equation by 5. Does everyone see how that would give me same number, opposite signs? Okay. Let's look at our y value, see if this is an easier option. What's the smallest number 8 and 9 both go into? What's 8 times 9? 72. I'd have to multiply the top by what to get it to 72? 9. The bottom by what to get to 72? 8. So, we can do that if we want to. But would you guys rather multiply top by 9 and bottom by 8? Or top by 4 and bottom by 5?
Since 8 and 9 are the same symbol, would you have to multiply by
One of them would have to be a negative, yes. Would you rather multiply top by 9 and bottom by 8? Or top by 4 and bottom by 5?
top by 4 and bottom by 5?
The 4 and 5 combo, right? Because those are smaller numbers probably. You could still do the 8 and 9 if you wanted to. You're just going to get bigger numbers than you would if you multiplied by 4 and 5. Does everyone understand why we're multiplying top by 4 and bottom by 5? Please speak up if you do not understand. Our ultimate goal is to get same number, opposite signs here. And I'll achieve that by multiplying this top equation by 4, bottom equation by 5. That'll give me same number, opposite signs in front of my x values. Any confusion about that? So I'm going to have two brand new equations here. What's negative 5x times 4? Negative 20x. 4 times 8y. $32y. 4 times negative 6. Negative 24. Any questions how I got this new equation right here? Okay, now we're multiplying the bottom equation by 5. What's 5 times 4x? Five times 4x. 20x. 5 times 9y. 45y. 5 times negative 26. Negative 130. Can someone confirm that for me? Everyone getting negative 130? Okay. As of right now, do I have same number, opposite signs in front of a variable? Yeah, in front of my x values, we got the positive 20 and the negative 20. So now we can add our two equations. What happens to our x terms here? They're eliminated. 32y plus 45y. 77y. And negative 24 plus negative 130. Negative 154. Everyone with me so far? I know it's a lot. How do I get y by itself? Divide by 77. Negative 154 divided by 77 gives me what? Negative 2. So there's my y value. What do I still need though? Still need my x value to complete my ordered pair. I now have 4 equations to choose from to plug my y value into. So you guys want to plug into 1, 2, 3, or 4? If it's me, I'm probably picking 1, but that's just me.
Why?
Do what? Why would I pick 1? Because it's got the smallest values. That's why I would pick it. We don't have to though. Yeah. Huh? Let's do 1. Negative 5x plus 8 times negative 2 equals negative 6. It does not matter which one you plug into though. I just picked the first one because it has the smallest values. You could very easily do the bottom one that has the biggest values as well. 8 times negative 2. Negative 16. Next step to get x by itself. Add 16 to both sides. Negative 6 plus 16. 10. And how do I get x by itself? Divide by negative 5. X equals negative 2. So what would my final answer be? Say it again. Make sure you put the x value and the y value in the correct spot. I'm just kidding. They're the same number. It was just a little joke for your Friday morning humor. I know. Any questions on example 4? How are we feeling about elimination? Good, hopefully. This is probably the hardest method to use to solve systems of equations. Sometimes it's the best method though. Last example here. 2x plus 2y equals 6. 5x plus 3y equals 13. Do you guys want to try this one on your own and then we'll go over it here in about 5-ish minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all try it on your own. What did we multiply our equations by here?
I did the top one by -5 and the bottom by -2.
That would work. For eliminating the x's, we can multiply the top by -5 and the bottom by 2. Because right off the bat, we do not have same number opposite signs. We don't have same number either in front of either of our variables. Do you have a question? What's your question?
Can you make 2 negative 2?
Wait, say it again.
Can you make 2 negative?
So you said you multiply the bottom by -2 and the top by +5? Yep. There's multiple options here. You could have done top by +5, bottom by -2. You could have done top by -3, bottom by 2. Or top by -3, +3, bottom by -2. There's different option based on which variable you are eliminating and which one you made negative or positive. Okay? 2x times -5. Negative 10x. 2y times -5. Negative 10y. And 6 times -5. Negative 30. Bottom equation. 2 times 5x. 10x. 2 times 3y. 6y. And 2 times 13. Positive 26. Obviously, these numbers will be different if you did the top by positive 5 and the bottom by negative 2, or if you decided to eliminate the y values. You should get the same answer in the end, though, if you did it all correctly. What happens to our x's? They're eliminated. Negative 10y plus 6y. Negative 4y. And negative 30 plus 26. Negative 4. How would I get y by itself? Divide by negative 4. Y equals what?
1.
Positive 1. Did we get that when we did it by ourselves? If we did it this exact way. Do you want to plug into first, second, third, or fourth equation? First, 2x plus 2 times 1 equals 6. 2 times 1, 2. I'm going to move quickly. We're running out of time here. Subtract 2 from both sides. 2x equals 4. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 2. So what's my final answer? 2, 1. So, this is our process of solving systems of equations by elimination. Do we have any questions about any of our steps that we took? Any of the examples we just did? Especially example 5, since I just went through it pretty quickly. Any last minute questions here before I give you the assignment? Any questions on that? Y'all ready for the assignment? We'll get it next time we're in class.